Hey there, Rockabilly fans, and really all guitar fans. It's your old pal Steve. I hope you're doing amazing today. So I had a breakthrough with my guitar practice technique this past week. I was doing a Cliff Gallup solo guitar lesson on my channel that you can check out. And I hit this one section of the song that I just could not nail consistently. I finally got there after a breakthrough moment, and here's the good version of where I ended up. So that sounds pretty good, right? Not so bad. Well, check out these outtakes from where I just kind of sucked. Come on now. So you can see right there, I wasn't getting to the right frets on time, and therefore my notes weren't really crisp or tight. And no matter how many times I tried it over and over and over again, it's like it wasn't really clicking. And I had this moment. I realized I was spending too much time overanalyzing my left hand. I was in that classic rockabilly shape, which I had done so many times before, and I decided I'm gonna look at my right hand. I'm gonna look over here, and that made all the difference. So I'm gonna walk through note by note what happened and why it happened. Okay, so the song was in C major, F chord shape, but instead of being there, you're up here on the 8th fret, and the beginning part of the solo was the easy part. Not hard at all, don't have trouble with that. It's just 3 little clicks on each one. It's the next part that was giving me trouble, and it goes like this. And you're like, that's not that hard, especially if you play it slow. If you play it faster, it gets a little intricate. But the reason why I was struggling with it is that little rockabilly box right there. It's very similar to the blues box. Like that kind of deal, you know? That's the rockabilly happy version, but the bluesy sort of sad version. It's like that. And now whether it's rockabilly or blues or any other genre, when you play in the same area of the fretboard, and you play the same shapes, even the same licks over and over again, even though they could be really cool, you form habits and you have this muscle memory, and your mind and your fingers want to go to the same place naturally, and you have to break that tendency. So as a rockabilly guy, you know, that's like a classic little rockabilly jam right there. Whether you're an A, or G, wherever you are, even back up here to C, it's a very familiar shape to rockabilly players, and almost all the time for me, I end up back on that, at the top part, the E string right there. And no matter what your genre, everybody can play in a certain area. It's their safe zone, sort of their home base, and that's cool. But what happens when you do that naturally is you get into this repetition and you get physical muscle memory, but you also get mental memory. And so wherever you go in that area, your brain and your hands want to end up sort of back in the same place. And that's what was happening for me in this song. You know, I'm trying to end right back there on that E string, but that's not what the song calls for. The song calls for the 10th fret. That one little note ending up on the 10th at that moment was enough for my brain and my hands to sort of flip out. And I was like, what can I do about that? Well, it hit me. You know, the whole solo is within about a 4 fret range, or at least this part of the solo. You know, so I've got 4 fingers. I'm within 4 frets. Even if I had to go to a 5th fret, I don't really need to look at my left hand to do that. Now, if I had a solo where I was trying to go, you know, 6 frets away or do 3 different strings, you know, all that kind of stuff, I'd probably need to look at my left hand. But in this case, you know, I'm like, I really don't need to do that, because I can easily, if I even close my eyes, you know, you can get to those 4 frets right there without even looking at it. And so I decided to try something new. I was like, what if I look over here? What if I look at my picking hand, which I almost never do? And I was like, let me try that real quick, because started to click, you know, you're on the G string, hammering on, and I do 2 on the B string, and then I go to the E string and hang out there for a while. And what's fascinating here is, even though I'm looking at my pick on the G string right here, really focused on my picking hand right there, it's the same thing over and over again. And you're like, why would you stare at that? It's because I stopped looking at my left hand intentionally on purpose so that my mind and my hand wouldn't want to end back there naturally. And so I went much, much easier. Now, occasionally I would go back to look at the left hand when a complicated part came up, or maybe something that I didn't have as much natural, habitual, muscle memory and brain memory. But then I would look back over here at times where I knew I didn't have to do something utterly complex. In other words, by looking at my right hand, I was able to sort of let the solo play out in my head. I was able to think really quickly about the notes that I was about to play and just play them, instead of looking at my left hand, which was sort of making me want to hit some different notes right there. And that was pretty much a game changer for me. And I've been doing it in practice, but also in the middle of a solo. If ever I'm getting to a hard part or an area where I have that natural memory, where I think I have the tendency to end up doing something that I used to do, look at your right hand. It might break the connection and sort of, change your brain wiring. Your brain is sort of like saying, quit doing this, focus over here. And suddenly the whole solo comes out really nicely. Okay, there's a look at my dilemma and my solution to hit the right frets and hit the right notes on time so I could really nail that solo. So I encourage you this week, as you practice, don't forget to look at the left hand and right hand equally. Don't forget about the right hand, especially in moments, areas of the fretboard or parts of a song, a solo, where you do the same thing over and over again. You can break that muscle memory, that mental memory, and try something new. And it may make all the difference in the world, like it did for me. Hope it was helpful. Hit like and subscribe if it is, all that good stuff. And check out the free jam track at the end. I got a jam track for you to play along with. And here's the full version of my solo where I think I got it pretty good. All right, catch you later. See ya.